Hi, I would like to tell you the experience of yesterday. I spent most of my last day waiting on Jesus, um, and it wasn't that successful. What I mean by that is that my mind wasn't really relaxed. Or I couldn't, yield my whole mind and to him, and I really love, and I can let it go and just lose myself. And it didn't really happen most of the day. So I was a bit frustrated, and then I was like, okay, I don't know whether anything will ever happen or in this day, but I'm gonna spend the rest of this time with Jesus, even if my mind doesn't really cooperate with me in this process. So I was just there in. I was just listening to old music, all the worship songs I used to listen to when I was a teenager and a kid, and I realized like how much I was longing for Jesus as a child. So when you listen to music and you just realize all the emotions that you felt back then when you were listening to it, and I realized how much I loved Jesus and how much I longed for him long before I met him, in a way that changed my whole life. So I was listening to these songs before starting school so that I can connect with God, and I woke up early to listen to them because I felt that there was something in listening to them and singing them. And it just surprised me that even before I had a relationship with God, as I have now, I had a relationship with God. So I was really happy about it, and I was scrolling down on Spotify, and then I found a song, Before the Throne, and I was like, okay, from Hillsong. Hillsong is not a soaking thing. I love Hillsong, but it's not typically soaking. And I was like, yeah, Before the Throne and Hillsong. Yeah, okay, check it out. And it was an instrumental thing, like so heavenly and so inspired. I felt like, okay, I must switch on my mind to see something. And I was like hoping for a picture, like this song is so inspired, I need to see what's behind the song. And what happened is that I entered this following experience. I don't say it was a rapture or a translation or anything like that. I can't even say that it was always a vision. Some parts of it I couldn't see, I could just sense, I just became aware of. So it wasn't that mystical. I just started to know and realize and become aware of these scenarios. I'm telling you in advance because when I'm gonna talk about it, it's gonna sound like as if it was like a out of body experience, but it was not. It was an inner vision in the best case. And I was so aware that I was in my room. I could even, turn up the music and turn down. So it was absolutely present in my room. Still, I saw something like a logo of of a production company, at the beginning of a movie, when you can see this short animated thing. Something like that happened. There was this sky or blue water, and all of a sudden, something emerged out of it. And it was like a 3D postcard. These postcards that when you open it, the little figures like Christmas tree or the nativity or anything like that appears, like comes off the page and comes off the background and becomes 3D. So it was like that. This paper thing opened, and there were a lot of people and weird creatures in front of the throne. And it felt like we were in front of the throne, but I couldn't see a throne like a distant thing or a far away thing. Only I could see these people worshipping. And I don't say that they were worshipping with sounds. Everything was music, but I don't say that there was any lyrics to it. And there were a lot of weird creatures. Like, I knew that maybe the living creatures and the seraphims and all this kind of stuff are also here, but I couldn't really see them. I just knew that it is that kind of group. And and yeah, I saw this purple, blue creatures, half plant, half animal things, with legs and limbs, and yeah, it was very weird. Like, I could see a hairy creature just drumming with his leg on the ground. It was very hairy, so it was a creepy scene. I always thought that creepy equals demonic. Oh man, Jesus is just so good at creepy as well. So yeah, it was very creepy, and there was no in front of everyone throne. It was these creatures were just enjoying something. They were just present, and they were full of light, and they enjoyed something. They were so happy and so satisfied. And there wasn't much motion involved. Like, they weren't really dancing or singing. It was like a frozen picture, like a time lapse. Everything was moving so slow, and I was like I usually am. I was hyperactive, and like I wanted to. Where's Jesus? Where are the worshippers? What's going on? And someone calmed me down that they are in awe, and being in awe means being without time. If you enter awe and wonder, then you experience timelessness. And then I started to slow down, and I realized, like, oh yeah, they are frozen in this timelessness, and they're so happy. There was a beautiful blue sky, and everyone had, or I don't know everyone, but a lot of creatures had this very colorful scarves, and they were just waving them above their heads. And I could see on the sky above us these different stars whirling. And it was beautiful. just the sight of it, and I started to get lost in this scene. And everything was worshipping just by being, and it was so effortless and so natural. What bothered me first was that I couldn't see God. Like, where is the throne? And there was no throne, but everyone was worshipping. And then I felt like a giant leg coming down from the sky, like really giant. And then I felt like Jesus was appearing, and he said, oh, then I was happy, like, here's Jesus. And then he said, I only appeared in this form for you. Just for you. They don't need me to appear as an outsider, because they all know that I am one with them. They know that they are all me. Remember when I told that you are all gods? Not gods outside of me, not gods beside me, but gods in me. And they are all my organs. Remember I told you you are my body? They all know that they are inside me. How much does a liver or a blood cell struggle to get in touch with the person? They are so in, they cannot be out. They are part of the body, and they know they are part of my body. So they don't try to approach me from the outside. They are in. And they are in worship. They are worship. They don't need to do worship. And yes, as Jesus appeared, everyone was worshiping him and crying out and connecting with him from the outside. But I really seriously felt Jesus telling me, that's not what the gospel is about. You approaching me from the outside. The gospel is about you living in me and me living in you. And if you worship me in any other way, it's deception. But Jesus is so good to worship you as an outside, as an independent person, like having you on the throne, me before the throne, and you just said, oh yeah, I enjoy that, I love it. But if you don't know that there is a deeper reality of our relationship than that, if you think that is the highest expression of our connection, then you are deceived. It's great to enjoy separation and becoming one again, but if you don't know that your original state is being one, then you're missing the point. And there was another creature, saint, I don't know what, who was also talking to me and comment all the situations and all the scenes I have seen. And I felt like all of the creatures were circling and swirling as if they were the arms of a galaxy, and there was an irresistible attraction in the middle, like a black hole, and it took all the matter and energy into itself. And I knew it was Jesus, but it wasn't visible in that form. And it was taking up, he was taking up, oh. And as he was sucking everything into his body, there was nothing outside of him, and it was scary because it was really nothing. And I remember that everything has been created in him and through him and for him. Like, yeah, we always tell that one. But what does that mean? And then all of a sudden, Jesus just released, not just through his mouth, through his whole body, everything out of himself. And there it was, all the living creatures, all the saints and everything. And then he took them into himself again. Then he released them all. And he was just making this show for me. Like, yeah, I'm showing it for you. Everything is in me. There's nothing outside of me. Everything is my organ, my inside particle. Yeah. As I looked down, I saw that there were worlds under us. I could see through the worlds, and there were different layers and dimensions under us. And there was some water, there were dolphins jumping out and they were all worshipping. Everything was full of light, full of color, and everything was worshipping with sound or without sound. And I saw the creatures opening up themselves to him, like literally trees splitting to turn their inside out, and people splitting and turn their inside out. I know it sounds creepy, but it was a spiritual body, so there was no bloody, horrific cut thing. It was just they turned their being out. And all the weird creatures turned their inside out, and they were opening up themselves. And they were giving themselves up to Jesus. And then Jesus said that this is the great union. This is the great reunion. This is the experience of becoming one. This is the love making that the earthly love making is a picture of. This is the original process of being united that the man and the woman represents on the earth. This is what the whole gospel is about. Everything giving itself up to me, and me giving myself up to everything. And it's the greatest joy. And you can see the ecstasy of this mutual surrender and giving up. And everything was just turning toward him and giving itself up for him. And they were all filled with total satisfaction and extreme joy and quiet peace. And yeah, it was amazing. And I also felt like all my body and all my cells surrendering to him and opening up to him. And in this opening up, I felt like a rain-like thing was leaving the creatures and all the bodies. They were present there. There was a rain going up, and there was a rain falling back on them. And Jesus said that I leave them so that I can rain back on them. That's what the whole creation is about. That's what the gospel is about. You have an individual personality so that you can give up your individual person and come back into me. And that's the celebration of the ages. That's the point of me coming down to earth. You could approach me anytime from the outside. You could approach me in the Old Testament, more or less. But these creatures are not just approaching me. They're enjoying their God self. They enjoy that they are me, that they are in me, that they are just as gods as I am God. That they are equals, that they are me, partakers of my nature. You think it's dangerous to say that you are just like me? Oh, if you only knew how dangerous it is to think anything other than that about yourself. You think if you thought that you are God, that you were God, you would behave terribly or proud or shoot flashes of light out of your body just for fun. Now, if you become completely aware of your divinity, you would also behave like God. I was a man being completely aware of my divinity. Look at me how I behaved. I gave up my life for everyone. That's what you would do if you became aware of your divinity. So don't hide from it. Don't run away from it. That's what you really are. Because you only believe that there's a little part of Jesus in you. That's why you behave just every now and then like me. But if you believe that you are 100% Jesus all the time, how would you behave? Don't be scared to believe that you are just like me. You are nothing less than me. You are not less God than I am. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. And the experience of separation, you having a separate person, is just about the game of enjoying the reunion. It's not the ultimate expression of a relationship. That's why I told Mary of Magdalene that she shouldn't cling to me, because I didn't come for you so that you can cling to me or beg me or approach me or be with me. I came to be you, and I came for you to be me. I told her that I need to ascend and send the Holy Spirit so that she could lead you to all truths. And one of the truths is that the gospel is about we being one. The gospel is not about you and me. The gospel is about we. And yes, it's about you and me as well. But there is a deeper truth than you and me. We. When in a relationship, the you and I becomes we, that's a turning point. I'm waiting for that point with my bride. And I really felt like Jesus was angry at all other beliefs and I felt like he was a bit angry with my attitude when I was looking for another throne. I was looking for a stage for God. I was looking for a spot for God, a manifestation for God. He was like screaming, like, you don't need that. You can live it for the fun of it. But it's not the highest expression of our relationship. I also felt like he said, I have the body, but I'm the only one who has the body. The Father doesn't have a body. The Holy Spirit doesn't have a body. It's only me having a body. The only body God has is mine. And I was like confused because there were so many people like seeing the Father and the Holy Spirit in bodily form or in the shape of a man. And he said, never mind, we can all change forms and we can show up in any way or in any form. Don't be bothered about it. But actually, I'm the only one who has the body. Yeah, it was just surprising for me. Because I only thought that you cannot see the Father because he's too holy, or you would die if you saw him. But you can't see because he's not a body. And he can't show himself in a body, but it's not him, it's just a manifestation of him, or a picture of him. Yeah. So there was this rain coming up from the creatures and the rain falling back on them. And then the rain was flooding the whole scene, and it became so high that everything was taken by the streams of this water, and everything was just swimming in it or swirling in it. All the little colorful fishes and plants and seals, and everything was full of light and full of joy, and the water looked like marble with these flashes of light. It was so alive. Yeah, and we were just flooded and enjoyed being flooded in this water. Yeah. We cannot be outside of him. Paul said we live and move and have our being in him. He was standing in the middle of this whirlwind or this galaxy kind of thing. And this galaxy was taking up all the creatures and all the materials and everything. And he was in the middle of it, in the form of light, and he was taking everything into himself. And I could see that, I could sense that there is nothing outside. We are so one. I cannot fall hard enough to fall outside of him. I could see through all the worlds and dimensions, and I couldn't fall deep enough to, find myself outside of him. Yeah, was amazing. He wants his bride. He says, I want my bride to be aware of that union, to be aware of that relationship. The gospel is about that. Don't be fine with something less than that. Oh, I just ask God to give you similar experiences, or way crazier experiences. Wow. Inside or outside of your body, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you sense this reality. There are raptures and translations that I believe these are true. I know people who experience that, but you don't need to wait for having something like that for sensing heaven. You have so many senses, you don't even know how much they are, and you can become aware of these truths without, leaving your body or having an open vision. I never had one, and I've seen so much of heaven. Yeah, there is a sensing behind sensing. And I love all of these and I long for them, but I don't depend on them. Yeah. Oh, I hope you see similar things and way crazier things and be drenched in this love of God and enjoy stretching out and yielding and letting your innermost being turn outside to Him. And enjoy Him leaving your body in form of rain and then falling back on you again. And enjoy this timeless silence in Him where you are the worship impersonated. You are satisfaction impersonated. And you don't need a God outside. You just enjoy the God within. Yeah, God bless you. All the best, and Jesus lead you. May Jesus lead you into these realms. He said not even the fools can get lost on this road. And I feel like I'm so in Him, I can't get lost. God bless you.